Mike, I think that's a really interesting spot and a really interesting play there, kind of what happened. We got a ball in the dirt, whatever, in the turf, and catcher blocked it. Batter kind of, I mean, I'm not at the greatest angle, but the batter kind of tripped and wound up almost in his way and then almost behind him and fell down. And I think maybe you can flash a safe sign. Mark, let's really work on that pause, read, react. You know, it's kind of from your good old days of two-man and in pro ball. You know, pause, read, react. Same thing there. I mean, obviously, what you're doing when you react to it being a non-trouble ball is a little different than three-man, but you know, same concept. Let's get back to that. We're putting you on the B side here, you three in the middle, so you can get that optimal look at that play on the outside of the bag. And what you're doing is shooting across into C and crossing the throw. I think if we were at umpire school, they'd say walk it off and see how far you are away. Maybe a touch deep. Probably more like 25 feet there. But if you're comfortable there, I'm okay with it. Just be cognizant of it. Got first and second, you know, and we should be in regular C here, just like it's two-man C. So halfway between the second base bag and the back edge of the dirt. Pre-pitch things that we're doing, and one of the most important being checking off our outfielders and understanding where they are. You know, the majority of the time, especially in college baseball, we're just going to have all three outfielders, you know, straight up. There's no huge shifts or anything like that. The teams don't play each other enough to really have a lot of that information. But it's very important to still check off your outfielders. And then again, you know, with 2 strikes, I'll check them off too. Like, I don't really care for that positioning right there when you go up to the mound. I don't like standing at the base because everybody's like looking down on you. That's that same thing, Levante, with the count. First of all, palms out to the pitcher. And second of all, present it all at once. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Mark, watch the baseball. Watch the baseball. Mike, good job getting back to that side when you could. You know, you recognized there wasn't going to be an initial play there, and then you kind of jumped outside behind on the backside, knowing that Levante's got you covered up at third, and there's no chance he's going back to first. So that's a nice job there.
Go hard.
Mark, same thing. I think Danny's got it on video here. You know, just instead of walking into that angle, bust into that angle. Mike, phenomenal. You recognized what was happening. You dropped into the third base coach's box, and you really got in that wedge. I don't think there was much of an adjustment. I think your initial starting position wound up kind of being where the wedge was. On a steel blade, just turn and look. You don't have to try to cross over to C. I know you're used to being in C, and you're used to that. Look, just try it for me. Levante, number one, first of all, as we talked about before, just make sure you're letting Mike know in the middle that you're coming up. And then remember, when you come up in 3-man, this isn't 2-man anymore. When you come up, stay up there. You got all the runners that you're responsible for touching third base or plays at third base, whatever it may be. You don't ever have to retreat. On the post-pitch step? Well, what's the point of a post-pitch step?
If there's a pickoff coming out.
Sure.
All right.
So there's no post-pitch step there. Good job in the middle of the diamond working behind with your post-pitch steps. You know, the advantage to being back there is you can really get behind on a back pick from the catcher and get into that wedge. And if you do it every pitch, we won't be surprised the 1 in 1,000 times it actually happens. You know, it's post-pitch steps are never something that you really get true gratification. We do them, we do them, we do them, we do them. And we go through game after game after game after game with no back picks, no pickoffs, no nothing, where post-pitch steps gives us that feeling. And then we have that one game where it happens. And all those post-pitch steps have paid off because you're in the right spot at the right time. When you're in B slot and there's a steal to second base, just turn and look. don't, every time that there's a throw coming, you're crossing over to the C side. So here, go, transition. Let's do that a little quicker. Out mechanic transition. We don't have to like wait and glance around and see if the ball goes back to the pitcher. Mark, good job lining up the tag. Just remember the last piece of that kind of play there, and I think we drilled it was second only, ball to center field, line up the tag, take the tag, ball goes to third base. Matt's in the wedge, perfect position on a call. You just hook behind second base just in case something crazy happens. We have a rundown. Now we got both ends covered, you know. No real reason to stay in the middle there. Kind of where you were, let's hook behind just in case we have anything back to second base. Guys, we don't have either umpire on the line here. Levante, obviously you're primary there. You gotta be on the line. Hit your belt buckle right on the line there. You have a fair foul decision. Matt, we tried it there, and you got one of those tailing throws, which is maybe one of the reasons someone said to you in the past is why you stay in C. But I think you actually had a pretty good look at it. Make sure you stay chest the ball so we can make an adjustment there like you did. Not get hit by the ball, still get the call. Good job. A lot to talk about. Great.